Shelly had spent nearly 3 years at the Corner Bistro, never once thinking that offering a helping hand to someone in need could land her on the chopping block. Stick around to see how this unexpected twist unfolds, and wait for the jaw-dropping ending. Subscribe now to keep enjoying the content. Shelly had worked at the Corner Bistro for nearly 3 years, and her feet ached in ways she didn't think were possible. But it wasn't the tired legs or the endless shifts that bothered her, it was the customers. Not all the customers, of course. Some were lovely, the kind that left big tips and even bigger smiles. But a large chunk were, well, let's just say difficult would be an understatement. Still, Shelly had earned a reputation around town for treating everyone with the same level of respect, whether they were eating a 5-course meal or just grabbing a cup of lukewarm coffee. It was her thing. Kindness, it's free, she'd always say with a smile, even if it meant smiling through her exhaustion. Then one evening, as Shelly was waiting at the entrance to seat customers, a man shuffled through the door, looking like he hadn't seen a shower in a month. He was disheveled, wearing a coat that had clearly seen better days, maybe decades ago. His shoes were full of holes, his hair a nest of gray strands. The man had the kind of look that made most people do a double take and quickly move to the other side of the room. But Shelly didn't bat an eye. She smiled and walked up to him. "Hi there, sir. Welcome to the Corner Bistro. How can I help you today?" Her voice was warm, welcoming. It was the way she greeted all her customers. The man looked up, startled. "Oh, I just wanted a seat, if that's all right." "Of course," Shelly replied, motioning toward the dining area. "How about a nice window seat? You can watch the sunset." The man looked at her, eyebrows furrowed. "A window seat? You sure?" "Absolutely," Shelly said, flashing him her best smile. "Right this way." Meanwhile, behind the counter, her coworkers were giving her side-eye and whispering. "What's she doing?" one of them muttered. "Doesn't she know the boss doesn't want that kind of riffraff in here?" But Shelly wasn't listening to the murmurs. She guided the man to a quiet corner, helped him settle in, and handed him a menu. "Just let me know if you need anything, all right," she said. The man nodded, his eyes softening as he looked at the menu. Shelly walked away, unaware that this simple act of kindness would soon unravel her entire life. Manager Rick stared at Shelly, his jaw nearly unhinged in disbelief. "Are you out of your mind?" he exclaimed, eyebrows shooting up like rockets. "How on earth did you manage to bring that walking dust bunny into our restaurant? Who gave you the authority to serve him free food at that table?" Rick's voice took on a mockingly dramatic tone. "Let me make this crystal clear. You'll pay for his bill, and if you don't, I'll be siphoning it right out of your weekly paycheck. Hope you like ramen, because that's all you'll be eating for a while." Subscribe now to keep enjoying the content. As Rick continued his tirade, he aimed his barbs at the old man, whose frazzled beard resembled a well-loved mop. "What's next, Shelly? Are you going to invite the raccoon family from the dumpster for a 5-course meal?" But Shelly stood her ground, arms crossed defiantly. "No way, Rick. This man deserves a meal just as much as anyone else. If you want him out, you'll have to throw me out too." Rick's face turned a shade of crimson, and he clenched his fists in frustration. "This is outrageous," he fumed. It was clear, the battle lines were drawn, and the dinner rush was about to get a lot more interesting. The next morning, as Shelly opened her locker, she felt a strange unease in her stomach. Something was off. The usual hum of the restaurant felt quieter, almost too quiet. She was halfway through putting on her apron when the manager, Rick, who wore a permanent scowl like it was his second skin, strode over. His tone was colder than usual. "Shelly, my office. Now." Shelly frowned. Sure, Rick. What's going on?" Rick didn't answer, he just turned on his heel and walked away, expecting her to follow. The office door slammed shut behind them. Shelly stood there, waiting for the storm to break. Rick leaned back in his chair, folding his arms across his chest. You know, I got a complaint last night. From a very important person. Shelly's mind raced. A complaint? Who was it? Rick smirked. That homeless guy you decided to seat at the window. You think the restaurant is some kind of charity, Shelly? Shelly blinked, her stomach dropping. He wasn't homeless. He seemed, I don't know, like he needed a meal. Listen, Rick spat. You're lucky I didn't toss you out on your ass last night. The guy was a total mess. You're not running a soup kitchen here, you're running a restaurant. You don't get to decide who eats and who doesn't. Now, here's the thing, I'm giving you one chance to redeem yourself. You can apologize to me, and we can forget this whole thing, or... He paused, letting the weight of his words hang in the air. You can pack your things. Your choice. Shelly felt the blood drain from her face. Wait, you want me to apologize for helping someone? Rick shot her a look of pure disdain. Exactly. But Shelly didn't back down. Her heart pounded, but her voice was steady. I'm not apologizing for showing kindness, Rick. I won't do it. Rick stood up, his face turning crimson. Then get out. You're fired. Now. Shelly stood there for a long moment, her mind a whirlwind of disbelief. Fired? Over this? Without a word, she packed up her things and left, humiliated and blindsided. The door shut behind her with a soft click, and just like that, her life at the Corner Bistro was over. Subscribe now to keep enjoying the content. The next week, Shelly found herself sitting on her couch, scrolling through job listings. Her phone had been eerily silent, and she could feel the sting of rejection in the pit of her stomach. Maybe kindness really didn't pay off, she thought. Maybe she'd made a mistake, after all. And then, just as she was about to settle into a grim new reality, her phone rang. Shelly looked at the caller ID, half expecting it to be a telemarketer. But when she picked up, a deep voice came through the line. Hello, is this Shelly? Yes, she replied, confused. My name is Thomas Hill. I'm the owner of the Corner Bistro. I'd like to talk to you about something. Shelly's jaw dropped. The owner? But... I thought Rick. Yes, Rick. I just got off the phone with him. Apparently, he had some creative reasons for firing you. Thomas paused. I'm calling to make it right. Shelly sat up straighter. What do you mean? I don't understand. Thomas cleared his throat. I want to apologize for what happened. You see, I wasn't just any customer that night. I was testing the staff. I've been doing it for a while now, going undercover to see how the people in my restaurant treat others. And I have to tell you, Shelly, what you did, that was the kind of kindness I'm looking for. No one else would have treated me the way you did. Shelly blinked, her mind spinning. Wait. You're telling me you were the homeless guy? Yes. Thomas laughed, a rich, hearty sound. And because of the way you treated me, I've decided to make some changes around here. Rick is out. He's fired. Shelly gasped. You're kidding. I'm not, Thomas said, the amusement in his voice obvious. And as for you, I want to offer you a promotion. How would you feel about managing the place? Shelly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You want me to manage the restaurant? That's right. You've got the heart and you've got the work ethic. I can't think of anyone better for the job. As Shelly hung up the phone, she could hardly believe what had just happened. Not only had she gotten her job back, but now she was the manager. It was a whirlwind, a crazy twist of fate that she had never seen coming. And as she looked out her window at the quiet street, Shelly smiled, knowing that the lesson she'd learned was simple but profound. Kindness, even in the face of adversity, is never wasted. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to help our channel grow.